Each one of us is on this plane, traversing a wonderful and carefully designed journey in which we acquire knowledge and skills necessary to approach our dreams and aspirations, and more importantly, the fulfillment of our true purpose. Every step we take is guided by the universe and our soul, who understand the underlying aspects of what we appreciate from our perspective and comprehend the direction in which each of us should be guided. The coveted moment when what we desire for our lives takes shape in this physical plane and we can embrace it is known as manifestation, and it is undoubtedly an important part of this journey. However, it is not just that which we should observe. Even those dreams and desires of our heart are oriented to align with our true purpose, the one that our soul knows and seeks to fulfill with every action we undertake and every direction we take. The path we tread is perfect for us and our true purpose and cannot be seen as a mistake, although at times anguish and a sense of being lost may assail us. We must recognize that everything happens in perfection and that nothing escapes the universe's plan, which aims to lead us to materialize the goal we have set for this incarnation and that sole purpose that may have been developing for many lifetimes. According to the research of hypnotherapist and author Dolores, the universe, in addition to guiding us and providing valuable information from the connection between it and the depths of our being, also gives us small signals indicating how far or how close we are to the path leading to manifestation. That precious moment when our desires take shape can be sensed in different ways, and individuals are capable of receiving notifications from the universe signaling the right path they are on. Some are more perceptive than others and quickly understand the message sent to them, but others find it a bit more challenging, always trying to associate these flashes of the universe's light with everyday life situations. That's why, based on the knowledge imparted by Dolores, today we want to delve a bit deeper into those signals that the universe provides us in support and approval of the actions in our lives leading to manifestation, which can also foreshadow its arrival in our reality. Signal number 1. There is an urgent need to leave something behind. Many times, the common issue in people is not wanting to let go or dismantle any aspect of their lives and reality. This stems from misguided ideas and beliefs that generate a fear that what is to be discarded cannot in any way be replaced by something more beneficial or beautiful. In the course of our journey, we get used to feeling that our lives should look exactly as they do, and that we should only add to them, never subtract, even if what is eliminated is beneficial for our growth. From this belief, we become accustomed to holding on to all sorts of things, from aspects of ourselves to routines, habits, and, of course, more earthly possessions. The loss of any of these things makes us feel like our life is on the verge of imminent collapse. However, the reality is that much of what we may consider as our own or as a cornerstone might be nothing more than an illusion created from concepts and ideas passed down from generation to generation, which do not align with the truth and the high vibrations of those who manifest. This is something that people nearing their manifestation understand because they have dealt with many aspects of themselves that allow them to open up to new knowledge or a new way of seeing things. There are aspects of our lives that have served an important purpose for a while, but due to our evolution and the refinement of our being, they no longer have the same utility. These are some of the things we must leave behind on our journey. There are also things that simply have never contributed to our lives, but we allow them to remain there to avoid facing the pain or feelings that arise when letting them go. This is something that regularly happens to individuals and can change thanks to our spiritual awakening. When a person has begun to awaken in consciousness, we see how they confront a deep immersion into their being, recognizing aspects of themselves that need to change and things that need to be let go. This transformation, initiated by awakening in consciousness, is a process that can touch the deepest fibers of our being and represents a challenge for many due to its increasing demands. The more we delve into ourselves and the emotions, ideas, and traumas we have collected throughout our lives, the more challenging it becomes to address these issues. However, beyond the strength and intensity of this process, it seeks to allow our being to rise and access much better spaces. The fruits of this work are reflected in manifestation and, of course, in the fulfillment of our life's purpose. These concepts go hand in hand and influence each other proportionally. The more intense the internal work becomes, the greater the force that will pull that manifestation event into your life, and therefore, the closer we will be to ensuring that our soul fulfills its purpose. The universe encourages us to work on ourselves and facilitates this task through the feeling that arises in us of wanting or needing to leave behind certain aspects of our lives, or something that remains in it. Let's understand this as a process in which we acquire a new level of consciousness, realizing that it is necessary to leave certain things behind. No one but yourself can determine what keeps you stagnant, what prevents you from moving to the next level and accessing the rewards found there. It is a personal evaluation that concludes with a list of things we need to abandon or correct, and feeling the call to correct them promptly is undoubtedly another way the universe tells us that our moment of manifestation is approaching. Let's take advantage of this extra push that the universe gives us and the way it arranges things to facilitate the removal of what we let go of from our lives, all with the sole purpose of growing and continuing in this wonderful journey of our soul. Before we continue, let's remember that letting go can include both things and people and relationships. Although it is not easy, your inner self urges you to do it and strengthens you to face the grief of letting go. Let's trust the process, our decisions, and the universe with its divine plan. Signal number 2. We are shown something, and then that vision fades away. To explain this signal a bit, I must first ask you, have you ever felt that you are manifesting something, and then that illusion crumbles, leaving you alone again in the midst of the process that will lead you to your goal? The way we often feel that we've already embraced something and the universe dissipates that illusion serves as a way to make us understand that the journey is not over, and we must continue with this important internal and energetic work. This is something that can confuse or perplex many, and the emotions experienced in the midst of this process must be properly managed, or they can overwhelm the individual with disappointment and a myriad of other emotions that do not contribute to this process, but rather can hinder it in terrible ways. Always remember that, even in moments of setback, the universe invites us to find the underlying lesson in each situation and the knowledge that our being must absorb from that moment. However, this is not a moment of setback. It is rather an incentive and a presentation of the wonderful possibilities that exist for us. It is an affirmation from the universe because it tells us that the path we have taken is the right one, that what we are doing is correct, and it leads us to what it shows us. This illusion can manifest as a glimpse into the future or the possible outcomes of our work. Even if this message did not come loaded with hope, it is precious information that the universe conveys to the depths of our being. It invites us at times to make the necessary corrections and at other times simply not to falter in the face of the great blessing that awaits us. Remember that you are a soul that has awakened and must now learn to see life in a different way. Perhaps for the old version of yourself, seeing this was reason enough to fall. However, with the new energies you are moving, internalize everything that the universe explains to you, everything your being must learn, and especially the magnificent reward that awaits you. From the premise that everything that happens unfolds in perfection, we must focus on what we are working so hard for, which will be an immediate consequence of our internal work. This also serves as an indication of what, by divine law, belongs to you, and the things for which they are destined. Remember that often the treasure waiting for us is much greater than we imagine, but ultimately, it all depends on you and your commitment to that leap of consciousness you are about to take. According to the knowledge of Dolores canon, this is called temporary glimpses of future potentials, a phenomenon in which a grand panorama is presented to us only to vanish shortly afterward. This is not a game by the universe, nor is it a form of torture. The universe is open to providing us with everything necessary for our growth and to manifest the rewards of our work in our lives. The universe will never block your path to your goals, but will seek to teach you what is necessary and provide the fundamental tools for the manifestation of those goals. It is important to evaluate the appearance of these glimpses as a simulation of what you can achieve by continuing on the path you are following. This fills the individual with an extra push from the brief taste of what lies a few steps beyond us. However, let's not forget that our future and reality are not static aspects, but are in constant fluctuation due to our actions and determinations. From this, we understand that to maintain what has been shown to us as our destiny, we must deepen our work. To materialize that vision, it is also important that our being aligns with the high frequencies and energies inherent in what we seek. Perhaps more importantly, we must align our journey with the spiritual path that we are meant to traverse. Living this experience is a demonstration of the infinite potential of your being and the greatness of the leap you are taking. From this, the universe sends you messages of encouragement to never falter and to continue on your path with steady steps. Signal number 3. Challenging situations arise unexpectedly. When a person is very close to their manifestation, it is common to see how unexpected situations arise, presented in various forms and levels of complexity. Rather than points for discouragement, these situations represent strong catalysts to complete the necessary processes and reach the sought-after goal. In the midst of this work, it is important to remember how the universe seeks to provide us with the necessary tools for what lies ahead. Understand that, although its plan is mysterious and unknown to us, everything that happens to us is necessary, and it is up to us to find the best way to overcome it. This is another aspect that can greatly discourage people who do not yet have an adequate level of consciousness. However, through our internal growth, we can come to understand that these are necessary stations to visit in the midst of our journey. Our soul cannot receive that which it does not vibrate with and is not prepared for. Similarly, if our environment is not suitable to receive the blessing that is on its way to us, it will be paralyzed and will not arrive. But we must understand that these aspects are managed by us. Nothing will exist that can stop us in our ascent to the summit and that cannot be modified from our inner power. Even the reality in which we dwell is a product of us and what we cultivate internally. When this reality is negative, it is because you have allowed your being to be invaded by energies of that same nature. But when it becomes harmonious and beautiful, it is because everything we carry within is of that same type. When a situation or aspect of your life makes you uncomfortable, you must recognize that you have the ability to change it and turn that discomfort into a perfect opportunity for growth and self-improvement. It is also necessary to view these unforeseen situations that life presents to you. There are no tests or challenges placed before you that you cannot overcome. Instead of letting this discourage you, your attitude and perspective should be completely different. People aligning with high vibrational frequencies must and know how to recognize these situations as points that help propel them toward their goal. From these points, our beings develop resilience and important tools that will be necessary on our journey. We cannot access the next level without completing the tasks and collecting what is necessary in the current one. This is a reality that no one escapes. At the same time, it is not impossible to learn and absorb knowledge without the specific situations arising for it. That's why even not so positive things are necessary in our lives, and we must accept it and learn to overcome them by always taking them to a positive extreme. From this perspective, it becomes easier to appreciate the teachings that are coming into our lives. Even if you see this as the most complex and significant situation, it will never be greater than the internal power that resides in each of us. From this internal power, nothing is impossible, nothing is too big, and nothing is out of reach. Normally, people see obstacles and challenges as a sign that they are on the wrong path or that they are simply far from their goal. However, from this knowledge, we can see that the opposite is true, and this can be a great omen. Life is composed not only of the good and wonderful, but also of things that pose a challenge for each of us. Deciding to undergo internal cleansing and aligning with high vibrational frequencies does not mean we will start dwelling in a reality where nothing negative happens. Throughout life, there are beautiful times when the occasional difficulty may arise, serving as a catalyst for knowledge that you have not yet acquired and that you must necessarily absorb if you want to access that precious manifestation. Always remember that there is no situation devoid of something positive. Everything happens because you are going to acquire a new tool for your lifestyle from now on. Let's face these challenges with the full certainty that we will soon be able to embrace our dream life and achieve each of the goals we have set. Signal number 4. People who criticize and emanate hatred will appear on your path. We must understand that in the midst of this process, spectators will not be lacking. They will be there witnessing the significant change you are making, and the way you challenge their beliefs and what they consider normal will lead them to question your actions. We must understand that most people feel fear of the unknown, stemming from a lack of growth and elevation of their consciousness. Therefore, it is common that when a person or a situation deviates from the ordinary, others may react by rejecting or even criticizing. This is nothing more than a normal reaction from people who have not awakened or initiated their process of spiritual growth. It should not be taken in any way as a personal attack, since these individuals tend to go against anything that disrupts their normality. The fact that knowledge or a person challenges and breaks the limits of beliefs imposed over the years causes people to react negatively. They do this due to the state in which they still have their eyes closed to consciousness. Part of a person's awakening is represented by how they open up to true knowledge and accept that there are beliefs or ideas they need to remove from themselves to implant true and more realistic knowledge. Even today, there are people who remain closed to the truth and the light it emanates. This leads them to act as saboteurs in the process of those who are taking a leap in consciousness towards our next destination. There are individuals who simply cannot conceive the idea that things can connect in the way everything in the universe meshes. They feel that accepting this would be stepping into the lands of madness, and therefore they view those who dare to explore these possibilities negatively. These people are strongly attached to what they know and do not want anything to disturb the mental stability they have generated for themselves, even if it means closing themselves off to higher knowledge and keeping the capacities of their being limited. Something important to keep in mind is that criticism always comes from what other people perceive about you from the outside. However, internally, no one can judge or know the growth you are experiencing, because it is something that only you and the universe appreciate. This growth eventually translates into the manifestation of your desires and the fulfillment of your life purpose. Therefore, when you feel that the criticism from others is becoming more frequent on your journey, it simply means that the path to that manifestation is shortening. We should not see these individuals as obstacles, but rather as factors that help solidify your new beliefs and actions. The more solid these new beliefs and knowledge become, the faster the fruits of them will come to you. In other words, these people are one of the necessary phases at the end of this transformational journey. Beyond getting caught up in the criticisms directed at you, you must learn to recognize them as catalysts for the reprogramming of your being, and therefore as enhancers of this change that you are undergoing from the depths of your soul. Let's keep this point in mind and not let external factors take power amid this manifestation process, because we are the only ones responsible for directing this change. Signal number 5. The person will feel lost. The mere word marks a sense of fear for many. But beyond what anyone might believe, loss is a powerful tool in the midst of the profound changes that an individual experiences in their awakening and manifestation process. When a person has not truly begun to elevate their consciousness, they may see loss as a complete disaster in which something leaves to create an irreparable void in their lives. This is accompanied by deep pain, originating from the perception that now our being or reality is incomplete. However, those who have opened up in consciousness and started to resonate with higher energies come to understand loss as a fundamental part of the transition they are undergoing. Our life and reality are a direct projection of our being and everything we hold within ourselves. Every tiny thing and every event that occurs in our daily lives comes from our energy, our thoughts, and our feelings. But is that energy fixed? Is it static energy? Or does it only take a certain form? The answers to these questions can be found in the knowledge imparted by the teacher Dolores, who asserted that as our inner selves and thoughts changed, our energies would also change frequency, moving from a low vibrational frequency to connecting with the highest frequencies. This means that as our inner self renews, so will the things that are projections of it. Therefore, our reality will change, and everything that does not align with our new state will eventually fade from the scene. In the midst of our awakening, the knowledge that reaches us confronts us with many aspects that we took as certain, and that may not actually align with the universal reality and the purpose of our lives. That's why we are invited to let them go. As we abandon these ideas, beliefs, and energies, the things connected to them will also end up leaving. When this doesn't happen by our own hand, the universe will give a push for them to depart on their own. This is when we see that a person ends up losing what doesn't align with their new state. This can include people, things, relationships, and even jobs. However, this is not a punishment for you, nor is it a misfortune that strikes you to stop you. At this point, when people hear that they will lose people, they immediately associate it with death. However, the loss of people can come from an imminent departure of that person to a place that is not close to you or from a definitive break in communication between you. This doesn't mean that in some way you are suffocating the life of a person or dealing a final blow to a loved one. Beyond seeing this as something leaving, we must understand it as something transforming so that each of the parties can continue with their path and their own process. We shouldn't view this event as a kind of punishment for deviating from conventional lines of thinking, because the step you are taking is extremely beneficial for you and your soul. Each individual is a unique world, and every person goes through their process according to their plan and the time that is right and perfect for their being. When two of these individuals align in energies and the part of their process they are experiencing brings them together, they will be brought into each other's lives and realities. But at the moment when one of the two transcends what binds them and the energy that pulls them toward each other, they will naturally separate. This is not something negative. It's simply a natural process. Part of elevating ourselves to a new level of consciousness comes from understanding this. Although farewells can sometimes be painful, they are just another part of the path you are on, where change is inevitable, just like the manifestation of what is rightfully yours by law. Even though this may seem like a difficult period, what is happening here only announces that manifestation event in your life. One that, while you don't know when it will happen, may be closer than you think. Signal number 6. You will have to let go. Aligned with what we discussed in the previous point, there is a need for your being to let go of everything that no longer aligns with you and your new reality. This is a step that can be powerfully driven by the universe and the need to release certain aspects of your reality that are no longer useful to your being. After each separation, just like after each farewell, we find an open door that gives us access to the next phase that our process must complete. Learning to let go is undoubtedly a fundamental part of all the internal work we do. When you accept that you have to let go of jobs, relationships, people, or physical spaces, your process truly accelerates and becomes more fluid. This opens the door for things you genuinely need to enter your life. By letting go of energies, we can see how the universe fills those spaces with new energies. In other words, if those energies are associated with some earthly aspect from which we need to part, everything will immediately rearrange itself for a new physical manifestation to occupy that space. In no way do we become incomplete by letting go of something, and doing so with love and gratitude helps the impending replacement arrive more quickly and in harmony with the universe. The biggest mistake people make is believing that the loss or departure of something leaves a space that cannot be filled with something else. And the truth is that everything will be completed in the way the universe determines is best. This is something quite challenging to accept, especially at the level of relationships. Because while we are all unique and irreplaceable beings, some of the souls we encounter on our journey are only meant to be part of our path for a while. In essence, they do not align with our purpose, which is why, after accompanying us for their designated period, they must take a separate path. Probably one of the most difficult skills for humans to develop is letting go, because thanks to many long-held beliefs, we see it as equivalent to subtracting from our lives. Everything has a space and a moment, and letting go does not imply that you will be less than before or have less than before. It simply means that you are flowing along with the energies of the universe, and from there, you will access better things for your soul and your process. This is such a comprehensive point that many people would rather not have to work on it, but it is a necessary aspect to develop. The more we understand this process and its stages, the more easily we will overcome it. This will be a theme that appears regularly just before what you have been working on and aligning with manifests in your life. Like everything previously discussed, it must be accepted, and you should seek the momentum it provides to reach your destination. Signal number 7. It is visualized and observed. This might confuse you a bit and could blend in with a point discussed earlier, but when we talk about visualizing what is desired, we are referring to that small phenomenon where the universe presents to you what you are seeking. However, it does not take it away from you, as we discussed earlier. Instead, it allows you to enjoy a small part of it. That is, at this point, we're talking about how the universe takes a small fraction of the goal you've set for yourself and grants it to you for enjoyment, increasing the strength with which you move forward. Just like a child promised a large piece of cake after completing their duties. Similarly, the universe ends up showing you and letting you taste a bit of what you will experience once your transformation is complete. While the final stretch you're walking is quite challenging, little things like these encourage you to keep advancing without faltering, to receive the long-awaited treasure that awaits you. These events can provide the person with the strength needed to complete their transformation process. This awakening is completed once the person finishes letting go of the mistaken and unbeneficial aspects that filled them, and undoubtedly, seeing how what they are doing yields results motivates even the most skeptical. We should never stop thinking about our goal, and it's important to focus on it and accept that every experience on the way to achieving it is necessary and important. Nothing can be overlooked, and nothing can be simply set aside. An essential point is to learn to trust in the universe's plan and everything it has in place to fulfill it, as well as to believe in our abilities and in how, from our potential, we can achieve anything. If there's something that is not possible for us, that wouldn't enter our thoughts and desires, because everything that resides there is possible and achievable by our being. It's evident that many times we question our ability to achieve our goals, but that only happens from the persistence of limiting ideas and thoughts, which are part of that piece of ourselves that we must let go. But by releasing that heavy burden, our journey becomes more friendly, things flow more easily, and we start to approach what we desire. This is a path of deep transformation and preparation of our being. Everything we let go of helps us create space for what we want to embrace, And the universe shows us that this is indeed the case through these moments, when it shows us and lets us taste a bit of that sweet reward it has prepared for us. If you feel that things are becoming more complex at this part of our journey, it's because the changes taking place are truly profound, inviting us to add the finishing touches to the masterpiece we are sculpting from the depths of our being. Everything that departs will have an energetic equivalent that will return to us, and in some form it will occupy that space. Similarly, physically, everything that is lost or let go of will be replaced by something of greater brilliance and beauty. Manifestation is a beautiful process worth opening up to experience, and from a new level of consciousness, it becomes possible to embrace everything we set out to achieve and reach any destination we envision. Many souls have already joined this journey, but I want you to tell me in the comments if you are already immersed in the manifestation of your desires. You can go to the comments section and leave me your message. I hope this information has been useful for you and serves as a foundation for understanding the changes and events unfolding in your life. If so, don't hesitate to give this video a like. And if you enjoyed this little space we shared, I invite you to become part of our community by subscribing to the channel. And of course, activating the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new additions. In them, we will continue diving into the depths of the profound knowledge of souls and their connections with the universe. I say goodbye, but only until a new moment of meeting takes place. Blessings.
you.